This is Tiffany with The Balanced Life, Redefine Fail, Redefine Success. And today we are talking more about motivation, but it's not about motivating yourself. It's about trying to motivate your family in tough times. Now, I'm not going to promise you that this is going to get everybody enthusiastically jumping on board with what you're trying to do. But what I want to talk about today is just some ideas to try to help them move along, because just like we're not always motivated to do things, depending on the ages of our kids, our spouse, the circumstances, the family dynamics, there can be a lot of things that play into difficult times that make it even worse during times of high stress or that kind of thing. So we tend to be reward based. So when it feels like things are moving backwards, how do you motivate other people? That's the key question that I thought about as I was preparing this. And I think there's a few things that we can do. First of all, model what you want to see. I've always hated when people say, do as I say, not as I do. Now, I do like it when people say, here's a mistake I made and a lesson I learned. Don't make the same mistake, especially when they no longer make that mistake or work very hard not to do it. But you need to model for those people around you, whether spouse, coworkers, kids, family members, friends, model what you want to see. You need to be that person first. You need to lead the way. Don't demand of someone else what you're not willing to do yourself. Number 2, rewards and punishments, the carrot and the stick, natural consequences, all those kinds of things. Working to motivate others in your family during tough times is sometimes allowing them to make choices and live with the results of those choices. So one thing that I said that we did with our family is our kids, we gave them $20 a week and they had to cover essentially all of their expenses. I mean, we provided food and shelter and healthcare and doctor's visits, but anything that they wanted, like school clothes, they had to buy their school clothes from that money. That would include school uniforms, if they had to have that, school supplies, any kind of extra things. Now, if there was something major like, say, a computer, I don't remember what happened in that situation. Honestly, I think we may have bought one. I don't remember. But we did what we could to help them with like big things like that. We provided a vehicle for them to have access to. It was not their car and they did not have free reign of it until they bought their own cars. But we allowed them to have natural consequences. And even if you can do this to a smaller degree, I remember when I was in the 3rd grade, this is the first time I remember it happening, but my dad and my stepmom, because my parents were divorced and I lived with mom 2 weeks and dad 2 weeks. And so I had separate dressers, separate clothes, separate everything at each house. And they only lived about a 20-minute walk apart, about a 3-minute drive. We were in the same school district and everything. It was nice the way they did that. But I had school clothes, back to school clothes that I bought at each house. And my dad gave us a set budget. I don't remember what it was. It was probably like $50 or something, because this was the 80s. But I remember that year only being able to buy like 2 pairs of pants and a sweater because I was being completely stupid about it. And I wanted to have this particular thing. So that was all the back to school shopping I had. My brother, on the other hand, had a ton of stuff because he was like, I don't care, t-shirt, t-shirt, t-shirt. And I got really bored with that same outfit and then my old clothes that I was starting to outgrow and things like that. So I learned that lesson. I tried to do that with my kids when we got into a really financial tight spot. I wasn't phenomenal about it, but I did manage to go. We went to a place, it was really awesome. It was called Savers. It was a resale shop, kind of like a Goodwill or any of those secondhand stores. But this one happened to be really, really nice. And it was in a nice neighborhood. And so they would have these big sales at certain times of the year. And one of them happened to be in August. And we got like 2 shopping carts full of clothes, like mounded for 4 girls, for under $200. And so each of them had like X amount of dollars and then whatever their own money they wanted to bring beyond that to buy as much stuff. And so natural consequences or natural rewards by them being willing to buy secondhand. And to this day, they still love buying secondhand because they love the deals. They were able to get all kinds of cool clothes versus a few outfits. Number 3, Working to motivate others in your family is do visual tracking. I shared this story in another video. If you didn't see it, go back to my channel. I believe it was about motivating. Let me see if I have the title written here. Staying Motivated, I think it was. About having a calendar where each night, based on my writing goals, my kids' deal was they went to bed at a certain time, and my deal was I would spend time writing. And so that was our thing. You do your part, I'll do my part. Have the same kind of thing with the visual tracking. If you guys do this thing that allows me to do this, then this is the reward for the family. Make sure that you don't be a promise breaker. If it's going to cost money, put that money aside before you make the promise. And you put it in an untouchable place before you make the promise. You can completely short circuit and destroy this by breaking your promise one time. You need to work together and be reliable. And when they see, oh, I did this, they did this, we got this, it motivates everybody. Number 4, don't expect perfect behavior or perfect compliance. I read a really great little phrase, sentence, whatever, where this person was saying parents should not be, you need to be parents and you need to teach proper behavior, but we need to be a little bit less demanding of our kids sometimes, especially when there are stressors or strains happening in the family or in life in general, because all of us have bad days, and the way a kid responds to having a bad day is different than the way an adult does. And so if a kid seems moody and cries too much and stuff, instead of getting on them, find out what's going on with them, because it could be that they're just overloaded or overwhelmed with what's happening and they don't know how to express that appropriately. We don't always express it appropriately. We slam doors. People use foul language. People stomp. Adults, and we give ourselves a pass, but we demand perfection from our kids. So don't expect perfect behavior. When you get frustrated, when they get frustrated, work through it and then move forward. So working to motivate others is, to recap, model what you want to see, have rewards and punishments for everybody, but follow through. Allow natural consequences. Do not try to block the consequences from your kids by saying, oh my goodness, they have so many things being taken away, I don't want them to X. No, if they spent their money unwisely, you don't come in and bail them out. You let them go, oh, when I'm not wise with my money, this happens. So when they're older and they have that credit card with a huge credit limit, they don't just with their credit card. 3, do visual tracking. Have a way for everybody to know what's happening. You do your part, I'll do my part. And 4, don't expect perfect behavior. Try these things. Try to instill what I've been sharing with you about habits, and try to create good, positive habits where you reward behaviors that are positive. Reward your kids for reading. Limit their time on the screens. Spend time together as a family. Do things together. Don't just shuttle them places. They don't have to be in every soccer league and every softball league. They need to have time together as a family too. So do those things and keep yourself motivated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.